Hello and welcome. My name is Jason Roba, and I'm here with another Beyond Room 313 special report. Today's special report comes to you from something that I was inspired by that Thomas sent me to post in the Beyond Room 313 group today, and that is that little meme that shows the little guy going into the light and, a character there representing God laughing as the little guy going into the light gets zapped by the bug light. And this is a conversation I was actually having with a family member here recently about the light and this phenomenon that so many people have reported on, that people experience after death, after bodily death, and people who've also experienced this light phenomena with near-death experiences. And I think some people have also seen it on DMT trips and other things that essentially render you out of your body. So what I wanted to talk about is the concept of don't go into the light. Again, in my opinion here, all this is my opinion from here forward. That light is a trap. When your body dies and you exteriorize out of your body, people tend to see this light in front of them. And without their body, they, as the being, move into this light, and people purportedly see images of all the good deeds they've done in life, and then all the bad deeds they've done in life. And, there's a number of spiritual philosophies and practices out there that talk about this kind of karmic debt system, if you will, in different versions of it. There's all kinds of different flavors of this that if you do enough research here on YouTube and go and dig through the bowels of the internet, you're going to find some information about this idea of dying and coming back again to fix all the wrong things that you've done, to come back and, quote unquote, be a better person. Now, like I said, that's a trap. Life itself already has its own inbuilt difficult ways of dealing with bad deeds and good deeds. I'll get a little more into that later. But this idea of trapping people into this idea that they're somehow not worthy, or that they are in sin, that the thing in the in-between lives area, I think it's some sort of almost like biological software, that when you are out of your body and in the in-between lives area, it scans into your mind and memories of your past incarnation and plays back to you a version of whatever your spiritual mock-up in life is. So if somebody is a Catholic, they're going to see St. Peter and, the pearly gates or whatever it is. I'm not Catholic, so I don't know. Or, if you're just a typical American kind of coastal left-leaning person, it's probably going to show you some kind of like Greta Thunberg type thing, or a male version of that, talking to you about all the things that you could have done better in life. Whatever your personal flavor of life philosophy is, it's going to play that back to you with whatever imagery you've picked up along the way, even if it's from childhood. If you were raised Catholic, or if you were raised Protestant, or if you were raised whatever, if you were raised an atheist, or if you were raised, with all kinds of tremendously political stuff, it's going to play back those images to you and essentially get you to go into agreement that you basically live in sin and need to go back and repent for all the things you've done. And I think that is a whole load of garbage. And so what do you do rather than go into the light and go into agreement with what you're being told in this light. And this is where things need to go a little deeper into what I'm talking about. And with the basic principle that you, as a human being, are a human being and not the body. You are a soul in a body, not a body that has a soul. I'm not this fleshly form of Jason. I'm a being that inhabits this body and moves it around, and I experience life as Jason in this body in the physical universe. But me, I'm a beingness that doesn't exist in the physical universe. You, as a beingness, don't exist in the physical universe. You operate this body, but we as we die, we come out of the body and go find another baby body to inhabit. And as you're going from your previous body into your next body, people tend to go through this in-between lives area where they are forcefully, or no, not forcefully, they're kind of bullied and coerced into this agreement that they need to come back and repent for their sins, essentially, to go back and right the ills of their previous incarnation. And this gets wrapped up in some of the weird spiritual practices that we see around the world, where there are entire religions based off of this concept of being born in sin, and this idea that you somehow are born incomplete or born as a bad human being, and you need to save yourself. And so what do you do? People are probably asking, what do you do rather than go into the light? Well, I say it's kind of like when you're watching a YouTube video and there's an ad at the beginning. You skip the ad. You don't listen to all that stuff. You realize, oh, this is just some sort of projected visual hallucination, auditory hallucination that's trying to coerce and cajole or whatever me into making some sort of agreement with it. And you just go past it and I don't need to listen to any of that. I know the right things I've done. I know the wrong things I've done. I know what I could do better. That's enough. That's enough. You don't need to hate. You don't need to go into your next incarnation having a sense of hatred for yourself already. There's enough of that to go around. You don't need someone or something else telling you to feel bad for what you've done and what you've done through all of your incarnations. So just skip the ad, so to speak. Realize that, oh, this isn't real. This is something being projected, because once you're outside of the body, you don't have a human mind anymore. The human mind is part of the construct of the nervous system and the body and the brain and all that. So once you're outside of your body, you're just getting direct impressions of things. And if you just know, oh, here's that thing, that light that everybody says, go into the light. Well, don't go into the light. Just go find another baby body and pick it up. And let's depart from this and go, maybe this is why there are people out there, artists, creative people, geniuses, who kind of rebel against the systemic way of doing things in this world. Maybe they are the ones that haven't gone into the light and haven't listened to the self-sabotaging karmic police, karmic IRS system that exists in the in-between lives area. And people that have gone through that light many times and have listened and gone into agreement with it, maybe they're the ones that we call NPCs and some of the more normiest of normies out there, because they are kind of ruled by the prevailing orthodoxy, whether that's through a religion or through whatever politically correct system it is. It's almost like they're kind of Pavlovian. They have like sort of a Pavlovian conditioning to only be able to follow what's prescribed as what's wrong and what's right to do. And they have been reduced down in size as a being to only be able to fit into such a small box. And I think that that's what's going on with this in-between lives area nastiness, is say you as a being, hypothetically, as a model, take up a sphere of space that's 19 feet in diameter. So say you're a sphere of beingness, and that sphere is 19 feet in diameter. And when you incarnate, you've got a box around you, and that box is 20 feet across. and 20 feet wide, around. So you as a 19-foot diameter sphere exist in this 20-foot across box. So, you can spin around in there and move around, without hitting the walls. And, as a being, you can contract in size and expand in size, and say your maximum size is 19 feet in diameter. And when you're sick, you contract down depending on how sick you are, 11 feet or 6 feet. When you have loss, you might, contract down even smaller in size. But, you having a great day, you're going for a walk down at the river with someone that you really love and care about, and, your space is expanded out to its full 19 feet, for example. So, throughout any given period in our life, we expand and contract as our size as a being, depending on how we're feeling and how we're doing. So imagine going through that in-between lives area, and you're expanded out 19 feet after your body has died, you're in your full form, and then you get put reduced down by saying, oh, look at all these terrible things that you did. And say you get the box suddenly that was 20 feet is now 19 feet, and you as a being are reduced in that box down to 18 feet in diameter, and that imposed space around you is a little bit smaller. And there's no way to expand out to be your former 19 foot in diameter sized self. And you do that enough times, and next time around, 17 feet, 16 feet, 15 feet, or sometimes, it might take you from 19 feet down to 10 feet or something, depending on how much they get you to go into agreement with how quote unquote bad you've been, and, the karmic debt that you have, incurred, like some kind of karmic IRS system where you've gone through life, you've paid all your, that's the thing about karma, for instance, with energy, it's a perfect exchange system. When you go through life and say you do something, we've all been there where we've done something where we've committed an action that has caused a person that we love and care about to lose trust in us, for example. And immediately after we've done that thing and they find out about it, that trust that they had for you either goes away or reduces. We've all experienced that, or we've been on the other side of it where somebody does something that causes us to distrust them, and that distrust goes away immediately, that trust goes away for them immediately. The effect of it, they might not see it for a week, a month or something, but in the end, that person knows, oh, that trust has been reduced. So same thing with us. When we do something, when we commit an act that causes someone to distrust us a little bit, that is immediate. That's what I was saying earlier about, with karma and everything, with cause and effect, all that stuff is immediate. It's just like a debit card transaction. Like you go to the store and you purchase some groceries, that money is immediately out of your account. You go to work and, you do your good deeds in life, that money is directly deposited into your bank account, so to speak. So along come whatever it is that has created this in-between lives area trap, and they're kind of like a karmic IRS, a karmic income tax system where they'll look at you and go, oh, let's get you to agree to pay all this extra karmic debt back. And really that's in the end what it is. It's about getting one to go into agreement with this idea that you somehow need to repent for all these terrible things that you've done, and you've accumulated this karmic debt in life. And so that's why I think there's a lot of people who have gone through that in-between lives area and have gone into the light a number of times, and they've reduced down. They're not the 19-foot in diameter sphere of beingness that, say, an artist or a genius is. There are people out there who are seem to be born with tremendous gifts in the arts and tremendous gifts of intelligence, and they're able to do those things. And there's other people who are born so seemingly beaten down by life, and I think that has a lot to do with the reincarnation cycle of going through that agreement that I've lived my life and I've done my good things and I've done these bad things too, and I need to go back and do it again to fix all these quote unquote terrible things. And then you reincarnate and you have all those memories of all that are erased. Memories are a consideration of the mind, and the mind is a part of the body. And once that body dies, your previous body, you don't have memories from it. We're all born with amnesia. We bring a certain amount of experience through with us from previous incarnations that we've talked about on different shows here on the program, here on Beyond Room 313. But we don't come back with like visual picture memory. And the people who do, it only lasts for a little while. When they're a real young child, maybe up to about 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and then that's it. There's no more picture memory from previous incarnations. So the whole point is that like, okay, so say you die, your body dies, just don't go into that light. Skip ad, like down in the bottom right corner of the screen with YouTube. Just don't listen to it. Don't get sold. It's like a lot of those ads on YouTube have a little thing you can click on, and then before you know it, you've like given $50 over to something that you didn't really want in the first place, that you've been coaxed or guilted into buying. And it's kind of like that. The body dies, you listen to the ad, and they sell you something, and you've used a certain amount of your life force energy to pay for this programming that you get. And I think that programming is held in place by the Abrahamic religions, by modern Buddhism, by pretty much any major spiritual practice out there. It all goes along with this concept of kind of karmic debt that you've incurred. And like I said, I'm not saying to go around and, do everything without any consideration for cause and effect. What I'm saying is quite the opposite. If you do something overtly bad, you're going to have to pay for it immediately. You might not see the effects of it immediately. Like I said, with the distrust thing, like that person that you've committed a bad act to cause them to distrust you, they probably lost that trust in you immediately when they found out, but you might not see the effects of it for a little while until you interact with them and realize, oh, this person doesn't trust me as much anymore. So it's immediate, for example. But this idea of, this extra level of difficulty that gets layered on in life, it's a bunch of BS. So don't go into the light. And I think that there are people that have tapped into this in-between lives area while they're still, in incarnate form. And that's how we have these stories of it. Because like, say, through near-death experiences where someone's, in the ER, on the operating table, whatever, and their heart stops, and, they exteriorize outside of their body, and they're looking down at the room, and they see all the surgeons and doctors around, and they hear all the equipment beeping and everything, and then, whatever, they resuscitate the person, and they get sucked back into the body, and while they're out of their body, they may have had that light come to them, or show up. This little bit of whatever biological software that exists in this universe comes along and sees that this person has just left their body. And I think that people also experience that too when people talk about these DMT experiences or some of these other, psychedelic experiences where they end up going through and having all these strange visions of things. I think that people, they go and they get sold this bill of goods about, this bill of sale kind of thing of like, yeah, look at all these great things you've done, and then look at all these terrible things you've done, and you need, we're all one, and all these ideas, like all these kind of new agey, wishy-washy, spiritual practices that all kind of sound the same, that people get from DMT trips or they get from channeled entities or something. They all have this same kind of funky smell to them about needing to kind of hate yourself. And there's enough of that to go around. You don't need any extra self-hatred. There are so many things, so many industries, and so many things designed in this universe to get people to hate themselves, to feel guilty about themselves, to feel guilty about their existence. All the diet stuff out there, all the cleanse stuff, all the, there's just so many trappings out there that get people into this idea that they somehow need to change themselves, that who they are is somehow sinful in whatever way that it is. And there's just enough things out there to go into agreement with to, again, lower you in size. Like I used that analogy earlier of being a 19-foot in diameter sphere of life force energy. And then these boxes just get smaller and smaller and smaller until you no longer realize that you used to be, a 19-foot in diameter sphere of life energy. And now you're an 11-foot in diameter sphere of life force energy with no recollection of ever being 19 feet in diameter. And, before you know it, there's all these people, these beings walking around out there, 3 feet in diameter, 1 foot in diameter. And, we here in the tribe call them NPCs. Or, there's the normies who can't help but, norming, all the time. They're just the normiest of all normies. They just go along with whatever the TV or YouTube or Facebook or whatever, tells them to do. Whatever the strongest personality in the room or on the screen is, they just go along with that because that's what you're supposed to do, right? There's no longer that's level of spiritual awareness to go, oh, I can do something for myself. Oh, I can create. Oh, I can make a piece of music. I can make a piece of art. I can make a piece of architecture. I can create new building materials. I can create new vehicles. And I think that's what life here is supposed to be, is a game of being able to make a better existence for yourself and others. As we evolve as human beings, as spiritual beings having a human experience, the game should be about art and aesthetics and about architecture and about science and about technology and the progress of things along the way, not about all these spiritual trappings that seem to be the great majority of games to play here in this universe right now. How suppressed are the arts, and how much of our everyday life that we go out into in the world is trying to make us feel bad about ourselves, to feel bad about the way that we exist. There's a lot of it. If you just kind of take a step back and look at the world around you and go to the grocery store and see the items that are on the shelves and look at the ads that are played to us, while we're watching TV or while we're watching YouTube and while we're scrolling through Facebook, it's like how much of it, how much of religion is about, not being good enough or being bad and needing to change how bad allegedly you are. There's a lot of it. There's a tremendous amount of it. So I say, don't listen to it. You're okay. Yeah, you've done bad things. Yeah, you've done good things. We all have, and we're going to. We're going to fuck it up. It's fine. When we fuck it up, there's going to be consequences. As they say, fuck around and find out, right? So when that happens, it's immediate. The effects of it, you might not see it right away, but it's always going to happen. There's always, there's an instant karmic accounting system in the universe. It's perfect. It's cause and effect. You do an action and it causes an effect instantaneously. There's no need to go back and pay extra for something that you've already done. That's what happens in the in-between lives area. They go, oh, look, here's all these wonderful things that you did. Oh, but remember that one time back in college? Yeah, that's going to cost you. Oh, and then there's that other time. See, they do that to you and they get you to go, fuck, yeah. Ooh, I don't want to look at that. You already dealt with that thing, but now it's like it gets projected right into your awareness again. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to look at that again. And you look at it and you go, God damn, that was terrible that I did that. And then it keeps going and it keeps going. This whole like heaven and hell concept. It's like, this is where this comes from. Going to heaven and then going to hell, all that. It's like they give you your little heaven period and then they put you through your hell period. And it's like at the end of hell, it's like, but wait, there's more. If you agree to our terms of this contract and, and here's this whole bill of goods that we're going to sell you. And if you go back and if you just do these things, you can fix yourself. You can save yourself. You can be saved. And it's like, oh, shit. Yep. All right. Sign me up. And then, you go into agreement. You put, you sign your name at the bottom of the dotted line, so to speak, figuratively, not actually. You go into agreement with that, oh man, yep, I did X, Y, and Z. I did that thing back in college, and I did that other thing, and oh my God, that other thing. Fuck. Yep. All right. Sign me back up. Karmic debt, just dish it out. I'll deal with it. And then, you're born, and your next incarnation, total amnesia, but you've got this contract that you came into life with that, you can look out there on YouTube and people talk about soul contract stuff. And a lot of it is a lot of new agey, wishy-washy stuff about following the soul contract and all that. It's like, no, No. The only contracts you make are the ones that you agree to yourself. And at any point in time, you can make that contract null and void. There is nothing, I'll repeat that again. There is nothing that you are obligated to follow through with in that way. Only the things that you choose to follow through with are you beholden to. So don't be sold on this bill of goods that, oh, well, I agreed to do this and I agreed to, no. You are manipulated into agreeing to that. Agreement and consideration is senior to everything in this universe. Think about that. If I put a little box here on a stand in front of me, a little black box, and you're sitting here across from me, and you don't know what that little black box is, but I tell you, there's something dangerous. That black box contains something dangerous. And say I'm a trustworthy person. You have no reason to distrust me. You're going to consider that there's something dangerous in that box. And I tell you, okay, now you can get up and go, take that box with you, but whatever you do, don't open it. Most people are probably going to consider that there's something dangerous in that box. I would say probably, maybe 7 or 8 out of 10 people are going to take that box with them and never open it up. And, all of us rebellious people are going to get out of the room and look at the box, maybe hold it away from our face and open it up. See that there's nothing in the box. I was just creating an illusion. So it's those same 7 out of 10 people that carry that box around. They go, oh no, fuck, I'm never opening that thing up. He told me that there's something dangerous in it. Those are those 7 or 8 out of 10 people who, go into the light and agree that, oh man, I look at all that shit I did. I need to go back and fix it. And then there's other 3, 2, 1 out of 10 people that looked into the box and was like, he's full of shit. There's nothing in this box. He tricked me. Those 1, 2, or 3 people out of 10 are the ones that, went through the whole in-between lives area. And they're like, skip ad. Cool. I'm going to go pick up a baby body and, do this game again. Last time around, there's some more things I wanted to do. I wanted to, get more into X, Y, and Z. I did a lot of A, B, and C, and I want to do more of that. Hell, I like this whole music thing. I'm gonna go do that again. I'm gonna go find me a family that's conducive to having another musical existence in my next incarnation. And you can go into picking out a family that oh look, these people are great parents for that. So and you go pick up that body and you're born into it, and the kid is a musician and he's a filmmaker and doing all these things that he or she was doing in his or her last incarnation. It's like, oh, look at that. And then, those other 7 or 8 out of 10 people who went through and agreed with the stuff in the light, they go through life doubting themselves because that doubt was instilled. And there's no greater killer of spiritual ability than self-doubt. And that self-doubt comes from someplace. It doesn't come from within you. It's something you agreed to before you even incarnated into this form. So I hope this helps. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of questions about this, and I'm sure there's going to be a ton of people disagreeing with me about it. But like I said, it's merely my opinion. So thank you. This has been wonderful telling you about this, and we'll see you again on the next Beyond Room 313 special report.